Welcome to part four of our little catch-up session here. And this one I'm going to talk about what I saw in theaters in the past 2 months. Besides Force Awakens, because that was with the Star Wars video, so that we're good on that one. So I'm going to talk about the other 3 movies I saw in the past 2 months. Starting off with the latest effort from Pixar, The Good Dinosaur. Man, whew, from a box office standpoint, what a disappointment this movie was. It's Pixar's first flop, if you will. At least comparatively speaking, every other film they've done has done pretty well financially. Maybe not as well critically, but done well financially. This is really the first stumbling block they've really come across. And that's kind of sad, because the movie's not bad by any means. It just doesn't have that Pixar flair of uniqueness. It's just really standard by the number stuff, really. Nothing about it really stands out in particular as amazing or unique. Which, other studios can kind of get away with that a little bit, but the general public holds Pixar up to a higher standard. So, Pixar can't just, put out generic, bland stuff like this and get away with it. And the box office results show that. Again, it's not a terrible film. It has high points, the, background details and, the way the scenery's done is phenomenal. But it does kind of mishmash a bit with the character designs, which are done more in a more cartoon nature, So you have these really hyper-realistic settings that you swear were, shot on camera and not done in the computer. And then they're juxtaposed with, I know I said that word wrong, but, the juxtaposition, that's what I was looking for. With the really just cartoony nature of the character designs, it doesn't work. It just looks weird, So, like I said, the movie's fine. I think it just doesn't really stand out. It's not the worst film that Pixar's made by any stretch of the imagination. To me, that's Monsters University. That's the worst movie by far, leagues below everything else they've ever made. But yeah, there's nothing really to talk about with it. It's not really great enough to really go, wow, there's some great stuff in it. But there's nothing really, to me, ultra terrible about it, out of the fact that it's just sort of bland, So yeah, just move on to the next one that I saw, which was Creed, the 7th installment in the Rocky franchise. And man, oh man, Creed is freaking great. It really is. I'm a sucker for sports drama, even though I don't really watch sports. I'm a sucker for sports drama. Go figure. So yeah, this stuff is up my alley. This movie's really, really great. I love that Stallone was comfortable enough handing the reins of this series off to someone else. And again, just great stuff. Stallone's magnificent. Michael B. Jordan's great. As Apollo's son, Adonis Creed. It's fantastic. I can't think of really any flaws in the film. That's really worth mentioning. Every film has its flaws, but there's nothing really worth mentioning about the film that is, negative, really. It's a fantastic film. Why would you watch Southpaw when this film came out in the same year. It's way better than Southpaw. Southpaw is pretty meh by comparison, honestly. Just damn, it was so good, so very good. I highly recommend going to see it. And final film I saw before I went to go see Force Awakens. God. In the Heart of the Sea. I saw this movie as part of a free preview screening. I'm so glad I saw it for free. I think. Maybe. I'm glad I didn't pay for it anyway, because it's terrible. I mean, what was that dude's name again? I can't remember his name, but the kid that played Opie on freaking Andy Griffith's show, directed Apollo 13 and all that. I can't remember his name, but I've not been a big fan of his films ever. The films that he's directed, I have not liked any of the ones I've seen, and this one follows suit. It's still terrible. Why he still keeps making money to make movies, I don't know. But just, God, it's so awful. I mean, I'm really trying to put aside my expectations I have for the film, which expectations do make up for a lot of how one feels about a movie. But because I was going this thinking, oh hey, it's gonna be a Moby Dick movie, and is it gonna be like an adaptation of that story? And I figured that'd be really cool. But it's not. It's the story of how the story of Moby Dick got made, what inspired the creation of Moby Dick. And that can be an interesting story, I suppose. And it's certainly a much more original idea than just adapting the story of Moby Dick again. But it's not told very well at all. It's told very, very, very crappily, for lack of a better term. It's just, Chris Hemsworth isn't the worst actor, but yeah, you can literally hear, his agent going, dude, you better do more Thor movies, like, now, if you want your career to stay afloat. Because, dear God, just, the movie's just really, really terrible. I know I've probably seen worse stuff this year, but man, just, God, this movie, it was freaking terrible. I'm trying to keep it PG. I cannot begin to tell you just how bad it is. But yeah, that's my theatrical recap. I didn't see a whole lot, but I saw a bit. And so that's part 4 of our catch up. I'll see you guys with part 5 later.